again to another episode of Culinary Delights. We are delighted to have you on the show today, and thank you for tuning in to Capital TV at this time. And with me, your connoisseur, Khadija Zimbwe, we are always here to give each other real passion for cooking. And with my costumes, this definitely tells you that we have something extraordinary for the show today. So the only thing you need to do is just join me from now until the end of the show. First things first, we need somebody to tell you on what is my costume all about. Hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Please feel a little bit friendly and, Okay, tell them first about my costume. Why am I having this costume today?
This costume tells you the company you are, what it deals with, and what the attires that are used in the factory.
I'm so excited because I love cheese. And that's the first thing I'm going to ask you for. Like, we're going to have cheese today.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's so exciting. Which type of cheese are we going to make on the show?
Mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
In fact, we have several.
Okay.
But we have decided, for the sake of you, to make for you mozzarella.
Just join us and see what type of cheeses we're going to make and what are the procedures of making those kind of cheeses with. Because you can also try them. They're friendly type of cheese that sometimes you can wish to try them at home and see how it's happening, okay? So the only thing you need to do is, let's continue watching the show and see how to make these cheeses. What are the basic ingredients if someone wants to make cheese, apart from milk?
One, obvious, milk.
Milk.
Second, the additives, sodium nitrate and calcium chloride additives.
Okay.
Third, starter culture. There are different types of cultures, but the culture we specifically for mozzarella, they are called STM5 thermophilic starter culture. Thermophilic means the cultures that do best at high temperatures.
Okay.
Yeah. So for making mozzarella, we use starter culture called thermophiles. Thermophiles are kind of bacteria that do well at high temperatures. High temperatures between 38 to 47.
Which is our
The optimum temperature.
Okay.
Those are the optimum temperature for their working.
Okay.
Or it is just the range of their working. Then after starter culture, obviously it's brine solution. Brine solution is just sold at a certain percentage. Which percentage? 16%?
Okay.
Those are the
Basic
ingredients.
ingredients. Okay. And then perhaps you can show us what is happening into your pasteurization.
Here, what we are doing now, we are pasteurizing to a temperature. That's partial pasteurization. There are full pasteurization and partial pasteurization. Partial pasteurization, you pasteurize milk at temperature a little bit lower, but not less than 60.
Okay.
Not less than 60 degrees centigrade. But high temperature pasteurization, you pasteurize milk at a temperature beyond 85 degrees centigrade. But the difference is, at high temperature, you hold the milk at low time.
Okay.
For example, when it's 85, instead of holding for 1 hour, you hold it for 30 minutes. But when it is 90, you hold it for only 5 minutes. And holding, you have to understand this terminology. Holding is just maintaining that temperature at a certain time. That is holding.
In here, how many liters do you have?
400 liters. But the capacity of this pasteurizer takes 700 liters of milk.
700 liters of milk. Okay, and if you have a big amount of, perhaps if you are at home and then you wish to make like maybe 1 kilo of mozzarella, perhaps how many liters of milk would you need to have?
Okay, that's specification.
Yeah, if you want to make like 1
kg.
1 kg.
The theory part of it, sometimes it matches with the practical.
Okay.
But the theory part of it, it is said that when you use 1/10 liters of milk, you get 1 kg of mozzarella cheese.
Mozzarella cheese. Okay.
Yeah. 10 liters of milk give us 1 kg of
mozzarella.
So when you do this, you agitate. It's as if you are mixing.
So if it was at home, then definitely you're supposed to be mixing.
Yeah.
Now at least we know this first procedure, then perhaps we can move on to something else.
If you want to know the temperature of milk, you use this machine. It's called a thermometer. And this one is a pH meter. It's used to measure the alkalinity and acidity of milk.
Okay, this is a little bit of a sensitive area because it's a very sensitive part. We're about to really do the real processes of making our mozzarella cheese. And Moses,
Yes.
now at this stage, basically what are we supposed to do and what are we looking forward to?
To start with, there are some additives that we put in milk. These additives are 1, calcium chloride, sodium nitrate. Third, starter culture, STM5, thermophilic culture. That's what we are doing it now.
Okay, that's so exciting.
2 tablespoons per 100 liters each. That's sodium nitrate, 2 tablespoons, so calcium chloride, 2 teaspoons. Then after that, we are to add culture. This is just a mixture of sodium chloride and calcium chloride and sodium nitrate. Then after mixing, you spread it all over the surface of milk. Then after doing that, you stir. Gently and make sure that there is thorough mixing. Thorough mixing. We have to add starter culture, thermophilic starter culture. Okay, for 100 liters of milk, we put 2 spoons of this. But for only the 50 liters, because we are demonstrating using 50 liters, we put only 1 spoon. You spread it all over on the surface of milk, or alternatively, you can take a portion of it, mix it separately on another container, then you pour it directly.
You'll be stirring this thoroughly for like how many minutes?
After putting all these additives, you wait for 30 minutes. For the bacteria that we have put in milk, we start working. They impart some flavor in milk. So for the period of that milk, they will be imparting that flavor in milk. And on addition, adding calcium chloride and sodium nitrate have two functions each. One, sodium nitrate. Sodium nitrate, it helps to prevent early flowing. Early flowing, what does it mean? There are times when you are making cheese, you reach at a point before you finish the last procedure, you find out that your cheese, it has got gas. And how do you know that it has got gas? You will see it floating on the surface of the whey. That one, what prevents that one? That's why we are using sodium nitrate to prevent early flowing. Secondly, it also prevents late flowing. Late flowing is after finishing the product and putting it into the cold room. You will find out that that kind of cheese you have put in the cold room has gas or it has blown off. So the main function is to prevent oil flowing and lead flowing.
Yeah.
The second one, because it's a salt, it also acts as a preservative.
Yeah.
Preservative meaning that it prevents the growth of bacteria on the surface of cheese. That's the function of sodium nitrate. The function of calcium chloride. We know very well that after receiving milk from the farmers, we keep this milk into the cooling machine. And cooling machine has to cool that milk to a temperature lower than 5. And principally, calcium that is in milk is lost during two processes. One, during cooling. When you cool below 5 degrees, calcium is lost in milk. Secondly, calcium is lost during pasteurization.
Yeah.
I said during cooling and during pasteurization. So, the lost calcium during those two processes is put back into milk by putting in calcium chloride. Because calcium chloride, when it enters into milk, it deassociates into chlorine and calcium ions. So we are putting back those calcium that were lost during two processes.
Cooling and
And pasteurization. That's where we are now. That's why you see any cheese maker has to use those two ingredients, sodium nitrate and calcium chloride.
So we're going to wait for this ingredients to get mixed up well into our milk. Then we'll be moving on to the next stage. After waiting for 30 minutes.
Yes. After the second stage of putting cultures and the sodium nitrate, calcium chloride, after waiting that minute, the third stage is putting rennet. The function of rennet are certain bacteria that are used to coagulate milk. And these rennet are kind of bacteria that are used to coagulate milk. They are of two types. They are made from different originals. They are, first class, they are made from plants. Second class, from bacteria and fungus. So what we are using here, we are using rennet that are made of, that are, their originality is from the intestine of the calf.
Okay.
So the bacteria we are using to coagulate milk are from the originality of the intestine. Coagulation of milk, in real sense, is making milk to move from the liquid state to somehow solid state, so that it can easily be cut. So from here, the rennet I'm using is this. The measurement or the quantity depends with the amount of milk. In our case, we have a quantity of 50 liters of milk. So 50 liters of milk, we use this spoon, use a quarter of this spoon to calculate that milk. So let's see how it works practically.
And remember that is a teaspoon.
A quarter.
A quarter of a teaspoon. Yeah.
A quarter into 50 liters of
50
milk.
liters of milk.
So, because it is in a powdered form, distributing it into the milk, there will be no even distribution. So what we do to enhance equal distribution, we dissolve it in water. Then we stir. Then we start to mix. Then you have to wait for 30 minutes.
Okay.
And then come to test the firmness of the card. And testing the firmness of the card, after 30 minutes, we use our machine to do this.
Wow, look at that.
And after, when it will be cutting towards your finger, that shows that it is okay.
It's okay now.
Yeah.
We have enough cards.
So after doing that, we start cutting.
Okay.
We cut using this equipment. It is called a cutting knife. Cutting knife, we cut along and across.
Okay.
So let's go. Then, after cutting, you leave the cut to rest.
Okay.
At this time, or at this point, it is when we say we are resting the cut.
We're resting the card.
We are resting the cut for 15 minutes. Check the temperature. When the temperature is low, you have to raise the temperature. In this case, what we are going to do to raise the temperature, after the card has rested on the bottom of the vase, we shall remove the weight on the packet.
Okay.
Then, that weight on the packet, we put it in hot water bath outside to raise the temperature. After certain temperature, it's when we come and pour it here. After pouring here, it will obviously raise the temperature. So the temperature is also very important because below the required temperature, the bacteria that we imparted in this cheese will not function. To raise the temperature, we could just put that below this. Then we start agitating or stirring as the temperature raises. Yeah. So there are so many ways of raising temperature.
Okay, thank you so much. So now we're going to wait again for a couple of 15 minutes and then we'll be doing again, checking it out,
Then
turning it upside down, turning it upside down, right?
Yeah. Before that, as we wait for 15 minutes, we have to add in something else.
Okay.
We have to raise the temperature. In that time, in that period, we are doing two things. We raise the temperature as we wait for 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to raise it back to 45 or 42 minutes. You have to raise that minute. So that's what we are doing to raise the For our case, we have found out that the temperature is lower than the required temperature. So what we have done, we have just taken the part of the whey and raise the temperature so that we can help us raise the temperature of this cheese. So we want to take the hot whey, we pour it into the cheese so that we can raise the temperature. Remember, this is the whey we took from. Then after doing that, the first time we use our cheese knife. The second time we are using this. And as you see, it has started changing the shape and the thickness. The thickness now is being smaller. What does it mean? It means that the weight that was in the way that was in the cheese has been expelled out.
Okay.
So that's why the shape of the card is reducing in size. After that, after you have to wait for another 15 minutes.
We're almost coming to an end of this session. Actually, one last one. Like after this, and then there's one more. But actually, we're almost ending the whole process of making cheese. Moses, so you can just show us now how is our cuddle for now.
So this process, it is the stage of removal of whey. So we have to remove this whey. After removing this whey, the cuts will remain at the bottom of the vat.
So this is the only important and essential part of milk.
Yeah.
The rest was water, which is all gone now. So we are only left with the essential part of cheese, the milk, which is cheese. And now you know the importance of cheese, how much important cheese is to your body. Moses was telling me earlier, like having a piece of cheese, it can determine like you have you have drunk like a whole liter of milk.
Yeah.
So it's very important and quite essential for us to be eating cheese regularly, because this is the only way where we can consume and get a lot of nutrients from milk in another way, which is very simple and quite exotic as well. So now we'll be leaving it again for how many minutes?
It will depend with its.
So now we have to observe it.
Observe it.
We have to observe it.
How it will direct us.
It will direct us by itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it can't take us more than 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
From 50 liters of milk
To 5
to
kg.
5 kgs of cheese. So at this point, are we calling it cheese or are we still calling it cuddles?
Curd, but
Still cuddles.
curd. It's not cheese.
Still cuddles.
Because at this point, it's not advisable
To eat.
to eat. What guides us to know the exact point? It is this instrument. It's called a pH meter. There are points where, when it is reached using this machine, that is the point where the cheese is ready for stretching. And at the pH of 5.2, 5.3, 5.2, this cheese must be stretching.
Wow.
And then it reaches 5.2 to 5.3.
So it's pretty exciting. You know, I feel like this cheese is ready. But according to these guys, like this cheese is not ready at all. So what's the next thing that we're gonna do?
Okay, remember the last stage, it was to rest it for some time,
Yeah.
so that it can stretch off.
Yeah.
As you see, it has started
Yes.
stretching off.
Yeah.
How do you know that it is ready? It is very easy. You take a small portion of it, then you place it in hot water. It looks like this. This shows that it is ready. So the next stage is called the kneading.
Okay.
Start kneading it in hot water. After that, we put it into the mold. So, the most important issue here is use hot water at a temperature more than 70, so that it can kill the remaining bacteria that you were in the process. So after finishing this point, cheese is ready for consumption.
Wow. Look at how stretchy that butter is.
Any mozzarella cheese maker is the critical point. This is the indicator that what you have been doing from the word go is right.
Wow, look at that.
after finishing, when it has started showing up these characteristics, it is ready. So the thing you have to do now is to put this into the mold, ready for marketing.
Wow.
You know, we market in different shapes. So as your prophet, you have decided to sell it, to market this our product using this shape, triangular kind of. So we put them into the mold. After that, we put it into the prime solution.
So you see, it's quite pliable. You can fold it, nail it, anyhow you want. Very soft and tender.
Can you taste it?
Oh, definitely, yes. So long as you say, you know, just a small piece. Just say it like at this point. I was waiting for it. Fresh mozzarella. Even though it doesn't have salt, but it's still tasty, very juicy as well. On point, very fresh mozzarella.
This is called feta cheese. And the principle remains. In cheese making, we are only interested with 13% of component in milk. That is to say, milk is water, and 87% is water. 13% is non-solids and other components. So in cheese making, the most crucial issue in cheese making is that 13%. So in feta cheese, we do almost the same as this. The difference is the culture we use. Additives, calcium chloride, sodium nitrate, it's okay. Then when we reach at a point of cutting, you see, cutting in mozzarella, there are big cubes. But in feta cheese, we cut it into small size. Then the number of turning up depends. It's quite different from mozzarella because you have to turn it several times so that it can be hard enough. When the card is hard enough, you remove whey. After removing the whey, you take the cards. And put it in this mold using this mesh. Then you put the card inside here. After putting inside here, you wait for 30 minutes or 45 minutes. You come and change upside down.
Okay.
Then after that, you can leave it overnight. The following day, you put it into prime solution.
Okay.
So like this, we made it yesterday. Today, I put it into the prime solution.
Wow, I believe this show today has been quite educative. We all love cheese. I am a cheese mania. I love the world of cheese. But I was very eager to know what is really happening on the making of cheese. And being here, they've been able to show us actually each stage that perhaps if you wish to try it at all, just feel free. And then once you've missed up something, as usual, don't hesitate to talk to me through my email address, which is culinary.delights@capitaltv.co.tz. You can also follow us on Facebook through the account that you can see on the screen, the YouTube account that you can also see on the screen, where you can get the videos of this whole program. Until then, thank you so much, Moses. Thank you so much, sir, for being part of the show, and thank you for welcoming us to your dairy manufacturer here behind here, which is very good, and we really enjoy being here. And guys, let's meet again.